Now that I have all my parts printed, I'm going to begin assembly. The little cherub angels here, they're just going to sit on top, so there's no real assembly required for these guys. Again, this is a gift from my grandmother. She was all fascinated about 3D printing when she first saw my printers, and she really kind of blew her mind. She's 86, and it's something she never thought she'd see in her lifetime. So I printed her a little rose, and she was really excited about that. So she doesn't know this is coming to her, so I figured this will really excite her, especially since she really loves angel figurines and statues. She has a whole room in her house with these on the wall, and this little shelf display will really fit in there good. And it actually, once it's all assembled, it's going to make a pretty big 3D printed piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set these aside. These are going to be our brackets. They have the hole in the back, the keyhole slot, so they can be mounted to the wall, and they're going to be fixed to this. And everything is being, except for the little cherubs, fixed together with hot melt. And then I'm going to use a little bit of PLA, heat up, melt some PLA to fill in the areas that warped slightly. So I have this bridge piece printed, and it's going to fit these two pieces together and hold the shelf together. And I'm going to use a heat gun to line up the angel's face a little bit better. So let's proceed. So the first step is here, I got my heat gun plugged in, all heated up. Got some glue sticks. So we're going to hot melt this piece. And we'll insert this piece inside this opening, and wipe away that excess hot melt so it doesn't cause us to have a gap there. Then we'll apply a bead here, all the way around, and insert this piece into this other piece until they're nice and snug. Again, we have a limited amount of time before our hot melt sets up. We have a little gap there, we'll fill that with some PLA. Okay, so I've got a gap on my angel here. You can see that? But the angel is just barely attached to this, so a little bit of heat and I'll be able to close that gap. So that's going to be my next step. My last step will be attaching these shelf pieces, and they'll go here and here. And then when she sets this up on her wall, she have a little place here for her little cherub angels. Again, I'll just melt a little bit of white PLA in there. I have a 3D pen that I might use to just get a little bit in there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my heat gun on, and I'm going to heat my angel up just enough so that I can push the gaps together. See that there, the face? And then we'll work on the base here in a minute. We'll work on the bottom half. Make sure everything stays aligned. So let's leave that for about 10 minutes to cool off inside and out there. And then we'll come back to it and we'll do the bottom half. Okay, so that should be more than enough time. That's pretty set up. Now we're going to apply some heat to the base here. And then we're just giving these surfaces here a light sanding. And then what we're going to do is, laying this flat, we're going to measure in equally on each side, and we're just going to hot melt these in place. Like so. The two angels. And that'll complete our shelf. And then I have a place that we can stand our little cherubs, or cupids, or whatever they are. Maybe they're little cupids. They all got a little bow and arrow. They're all standing on a heart, and we all have a nice view of their ass. Anyways, so what I did here with this shelf is I found, you can find this on my Thingiverse page, but I designed the shelf itself in 123D design so that it can be printed in 2 pieces, and you can actually make bookends out of it too, besides being a shelf, because it can sit, each one can sit like this, and you can have bookends. But then I went and I found a few things online, like the sleeping angel and little cherubs and this angel pendant, and I extracted the components I wanted out of those models, and I've merged them with the shelf to give me a nice nice feature rich shelf here that would go with my angel Corbels and my little cupids. I added some there's some grape work here, as well as some leaf work on the sides. Now I'm going to close this gap here, and then for the rest of it up here, I'll probably just melt some white PLA into that, because there will be no closing that. That's just how the print came out. There's nothing I can do there. Let's heat this up, just like before. We'll just hold it for a few minutes, let that hot melt set. There's a lot of heat in there again. Get that little bead of hot melt we got on there off. Push that really tight together. Get a little bead of hot melt in there. We'll come back to this when it's cooled off. Okay, so here we have my, you can see this here, my 3D pen, and then we got our white plastic right there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fill our gap, carefully fill our gap. But it'll permanently bond the 2 pieces together. See now underneath, see how well that worked out? A nice solid line of plastic there. Up top, I'm going to have to clean it up. I still had pink in there. It didn't want to come out. Got one more void there that I need to fill. Let's see if I can get in there. Oh. We'll have to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so we got our measuring tape here, and I'm just going to eyeball this, and I'm going to go in about 1 inch. I'm just going to make a little line. Now, unfortunately for anybody asking me, the Angel Corbel is not my design. It's not my design to give, and it can't be found on Thingiverse either. But I suppose with a little patience, somebody could take an Angel, one of the Angel models on Thingiverse, and turn it into a Corbel. Maybe if I have time sometime, I'll actually do that. Use it a little bit to make sure everything's working fine, and then we proceed to bond our edges. There's a little bit of a warp on the Angels, and the hot melt under there is creating a gap. So we got quite the gap to fill, but that's fine. The 3D pen will do the job. just like part of the decorative nature of the piece.
Lily?
There you go. Don't mind the horrible wallpaper. So that's it, nice on the wall, right like that. And then she has her 3 little statues. Just like that. It's a very nice piece. Quite a bit of print time involved, but it's a gift from my dear old grandmother, so it's well worth it. And in the end, there's a nice showpiece here that she'll have in her home. The only thing I have left to take care of is I'll get rid of this, clean up this little bead here that I have here, where the colors were still, there was still a little bit of pink in there.